Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube, and I'm here to do two videos for you here tonight. First is a Dark Shadows video. This is a Willie Loomis retrospective post WindCliiff Sanitarium. Now you might say, well, how does Willie Loomis get to WindCliiff Sanitarium? Is it because of his actual criminal record of being a thief? No, not exactly. You see, in order for Willie to get to WindCliiff, a very special thing had to happen to our buddy Willie Loomis. A very special thing indeed, and that very special thing would be getting shot full of holes by the Collinsport Police Department. Actually, that's one of the things. You know, of all the crimes to be pinned on Willie, and it's weird because Willie Willie getting framed up for kidnapping Maggie, for being the guy. That's the guy who kidnapped Maggie. That's who they point the finger at. Who had the obsession with Maggie. Now we all know that's not true. We know it was Barnabas. And they're also pinning the other girls on him, I believe. Now, Willie, upon getting shot outside Maggie Evans's window, which here's what I find most impressive. There are a lot of impressive things about this. Number one, the Collinsport police managed to shoot Willie without hitting the window. The cops of Haddonfield, especially Hawkins, needs to take notes. I mean, he's standing in front of a glass, well sort of. There's these two double doors you see, and they're glass, and they open up. So two double doors that open up, and they're glass. I call them windows. I apologize. And the cops don't hit this thing. They hit Willie. So I got to give them an A for accuracy. Now, why is Willie going to the door, you might ask? Going to Maggie. There's a lot of reasons. Barnabas is slowly losing his vampire abilities. Julia's been treating him. She's been giving Barnabas treatments. Willie goes to Maggie to tell her the truth, and he gets shot for his trouble. The Collinsport police are on guard of Maggie because they don't want what happened to Maggie to happen again. Well, that and she's afraid. And why shouldn't she be? She was kidnapped by Barnabas. Um, he literally gets shot. So at the hospital, at the Collinsport Hospital, Dr. Dave Woodard, and yes, a reluctant Julia Hoffman, who is sent to, listen, Barnabas sends Julia to the hospital to 86 Willie to make sure he does not recover. You cannot appreciate the value of a good employee, right? But I assure you, Barnabas Collins appreciates the value of his employee. He would also have appreciated if his employee would have been loyal and not went to Maggie's in the first place. Therefore, that's why he sent in Julia to finish off Willie. Julia does not succeed. Dave Woodard interrupts her too much. Plus, she gets interrupted by Sheriff George Patterson, still played by Dana Elker at this point, thank God. So, here's Willie laying there. Julia confides in Dave Woodard and the cops that yes, it was indeed Willie Loomis who kidnapped Maggie. And there was, she could not tell them this, and they believe her because Julia is, they don't know Julia is working with Barnabas, the real person who kidnapped Maggie, and I do mean real. Barnabas did kidnap Maggie here. Um, God. So we're not going to see John Carlin for a while. John Carlin is going to be off TV, and Willie Loomis is going to spend his time in WindCliiff Sanitarium. This is one of the most beautiful setups I've ever seen. You get framed for not only you get framed for kidnapping the local girl, you get framed for all those attempted strangulations. You get put in a you get shot multiple times. You almost get 86'd by a woman who you were trying to stop your employer from killing. And trust me, she was going to have no problem killing him. When you see Julia go in, she's like trying to pull out the needle slowly. She's trying to make sure he. No, no, it didn't happen. She didn't succeed. So here, it's so beautiful because he's going to WindCliiff, okay, and the conditions when he goes to WindCliiff, when he finally gets out, we're in the Adam arc, right? We're in the Adam storyline. They need somebody to help babysit Adam. All right. Barnabas isn't a vampire no more. So Barnabas has no control over Willie. Willie is visited by Barnabas and Julia. And you might seem, all seems normal. Keep in mind everything this man has been through. This man has been beaten. I mean, Barnabas beat him. He has been strangled. He unleashed a vampire. Barnabas. This man has been shot, mistreated, and even if you combine Jason, I mean, he's had a pretty rough life. Our pal Willie Loomis. So when he gets released from WindCliiff, finally, and he comes back to Collinwood, and he's living in the old house with Barnabas and Julie and take care of Adam, you start to notice Willie's a little off. Willie is teetering between psychotic and the break of psychotic. And it's beautiful. John Carlin, this performance of Willie Loomis is one of my favorites because he is so. I mean, he's almost his old self to a degree. He's not quite there. He's not quite full tilt back to what Willie was when he prior to he met Barnabas, but he's teetering between that line, and I honestly think his sanity from breaking. I mean, he has to babysit Adam. It has to be in the back of his mind what Barnabas was at one point in time. He remembers, and he gets to carry a gun. Willie Willie's condition post WindCliiff Sanitarium. Listen, I love Dr. Julia Hoffman to death, but Willie should not have been released under anyone's reconnaissance or supervision. The man isn't necessarily mentally gone, but he's, like I said, he's teetering between full psychotic break. I mean, he just gets this psychotic smile and this this look of pure craziness. So Willie's condition post WindCliiff Sanitarium is not the greatest. Really, Willie Loomis you know, he's teasing Adam. And here's the thing, too. If the police thought Willie was guilty of kidnapping Maggie before, he doesn't help his own case here. He gives he gives Maggie Josette's earrings. He gives her jewelry that belongs to Josette, and it is just you're going, dude. You're digging your own hole again. You're gonna get up back in trouble. And Joe's not too happy with any of this, Joe Haskell. And it's amazing. Willie Willie is actually has feelings for Maggie. I mean, who wouldn't? Catherine Lee Scott, Maggie Evans, beautiful lady. And Willie's got feelings for her. Willie's sort of filmed it for her. And in between, trying to make the moves on Maggie and, you know, teasing and torturing Adam, he doesn't have time for both. So he'd rather be with her, and this is sort of why he mistreats Adam as well. That and Barnabas treats Adam better than he ever treated Willie. Um, and he, after Adam eventually just escapes the old house, because Barnabas hits him with a cane. Because what Barnabas doesn't realize is Willie has been completely teasing Adam and torturing him to a degree. And so Willie's life post WindCliiff Sanitarium, again, it's an interesting one. Now, the one thing I wanted to touch on too was Willie Loomis. Do I think somebody ever talked to Willie Loomis? Maybe I mean, what I'm meaning is the character after the series about the Maggie Evans incident. I gotta believe somebody did. Somebody inquired about it because think about this. Dave Woodard felt that Willie, he even sort of started to say, wait, Willie did all this? I gotta believe there was somebody else out there who maybe thought, wait a second, Willie Loomis. Willie, sure, he flirted with Carolyn and he flirted with Vicky and he flirted with Maggie and in the Blue Whale. But we're talking about a guy who went from being a thief and a bit of a creep to full-on kidnapping. That's a big, big step, right? So Willie's complete recovery is when we see him. I'll go to his complete recovery stage when he comes back during the Leviathan arc, and he has a girlfriend. Now, eventually, I gotta assume, like I said, somebody talked to Willie and said, "Do you honestly remember kidnapping that Evans girl?" And he probably, well, yeah, I did it. Now, the reason he might stay loyal to Barnabas is because him and Barnabas became friends. Um, he liked helping Barnabas and Julia to a degree afterwards. Willie, again, Willie Loomis is one of the most interesting characters in Dark Shadows simply because would Willie give up Barnabas's secrets? I don't think he would give them up knowing, is what I would say. I think he would keep up the secret of him. Yeah, I kidnapped Maggie, and that was a big mistake on my part, but hey, she forgave me, and people forgave me. Now, the one question I would ask Willie that would be most interesting would be, or a reporter should ask Willie, so Willie, all those calves that got stolen, what did you do with their blood? Like, really, what did you do with their blood? What blood? The calf's blood that got drained. The two puncture. What did you do with that? Where'd that go? Those are questions that I would definitely like to see somebody asking the character Willie Loomis. Here's where I feel bad for Willie in a sense. This Again, this dude gets shot up so bad. You're thinking, man, there's no. When I first saw that, I'm thinking, man, there's no way this dude survived. And he did. I'm like, damn. And here's the thing: this degree of accuracy by the Collinsport police, it's impressive, but it's almost sickening too, because it's like, man, you guys are like filling Willie full of holes. Bam, bam. I'm like, damn. And they don't miss. They don't miss him. It's amazing. The one thing I was most curious about with Willie Loomis coming back is what would his role be as Adam's sort of caretaker? How would he act? And they did not take long to answer that question when they first did that. They got right to that one, let me tell you. And that's just the most interesting stuff in that house with Willie. And again, people might say, Barnabas sent Julia to kill Willie? Yeah, yeah, Barnabas sent Julia to make sure, hey, you know how Willie got shot? Yeah, make sure he dies. He tried to sell me out? Make sure he doesn't ever talk. And, well, she doesn't succeed in that, but Willie gets blamed for Maggie's kidnapping, and Barnabas frames him for it. Beautiful. Beautiful frame up, too. Man, you talking about really an interesting character. Now, Parallel Time Willie was the writer Willie. That's where Anne Rice got the idea for Interview with a Vampire. When Willie Loomis was a writer in Parallel Time, it was a different Willie Loomis, obviously, and he was interviewing Barnabas, who was a vampire. So, now, that's the end of my video. I really got to do a WindCliiff Revisited tour. Do you do shock treatment? Yes. Yes, we do. It's really the merits of should Willie have been committed in the first place? Well, here's the thing. Jason McGuire is dead. Who's really going to vouch for Willie? Yeah, Carolyn and them have noticed how different Willie has acted by this point in time. How Willie, how people are noticing how different Willie has acted ever since the arrival of Barnabas. So when Willie gets shot, and they know, what Willie was when he came to town, and they know how Willie's changed. The question becomes, has Willie really changed enough for us to give him the benefit of doubt, not to blame him for Maggie's kidnapping, not to blame him for things that are mysteriously happened, when there's times we don't see Willie Loomis? It's basically, who do you accuse? Do you accuse the guy who with the shady past and the criminal record, who, is known for petty theft and womanizing and harassing women? Do you suspect that guy, or do you suspect the newly rich, eligible bachelor who's your cousin? Who do you suspect? 9 chances out of 10, you're going to suspect Willie. You're going to suspect. You're not going to suspect Barnabas. And that's the beautiful part of it, too. It's, did Willie deserve enough benefit of the doubt? Now, as the audience, we know, yeah, he did. He was trying to warn Maggie. But again, the other characters did not know that. And no, I want to say something real quick. For those who don't know what's going on Netflix, apparently the 2012 Dark Shadows movie is in the top 10 of being watched. Are we in the Twilight Zone? I'm for serving choice. I sort of wonder if people were just watching that movie because it's a Tim Burton movie. I'm sort of wondering. Like, there are fans of the 2012 Dark Shadows movie, but um, I've talked about it here on the channel. I've talked about the movie many times. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I don't like it, but I have talked about it on here. It's a part of, for better or definitely for worse, it's a part of the franchise. Um, will it make people want, now, for people who are watching it now, will it make people want to go watch the original series? I hope so. I hope so. Even if it gets them to watch the revival, that will be a good step. So, but I hope it gets them to watch the original series. I mean, the original series, I just talked about Willie. I just did Willie's, post WindCliiff retrospective. The biggest question, I said the biggest question is, did Willie deserve benefit of doubt? If I'm Carolyn, if I'm them, probably not. Even though I know he did. But if I'm those characters, I can't really put all my chips in Willie. Because again, Willie had to be secretive. Willie could not, he's fighting Barnabas, he's going around making phone calls. She's in the graveyard. He got beat for that one too. Oh my god. Alright. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's anything I missed, let me know. I'm probably pretty sure I missed something. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Adam Mark. Willie's around for that. Not too long after that. I know Willie's around for. I'm pretty sure Willie's around for the staking of Tom Jennings. I know, pretty sure he's around for that one. But again, Willie had a crazy life. So, all right, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you here in a bit.